Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm bringing you another video in which I'm going to be bringing you a review of Dragon Ball Super Episode 27, and then my predictions for Episode 28. Well, a lot of stuff happened on Dragon Ball Super Episode 27, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, to start this off with a little bit of a spoiler, I really enjoyed this episode. Why is it because it's Scrawny Gohan now he wants to actually improve his muscle mass? No. Sorry. But anyway, there's a lot of good stuff that happened in this episode, and so I'm going to give you the basic rundown of exactly what happened, all the events that transpired, and then give my thoughts on all of them. So, without further ado, let's get started. Basically, Dragon Ball Super Episode 27 left off at the same place where 26 ended, and that's essentially that Goku getting cocky after he's defeated Freeza, gets blasted through the chest after he lowers his guard by that laser. And on the ground, Freeza has him at a disadvantage, and Freeza is right about to kill him when Vegeta interferes. And after Vegeta blasted Freeza away, he says it was his turn to tag in and his turn to step up and fight Freeza. And that was the beginning of the episode. Now, of course, Vegeta reiterated what he had said in the movie in this episode by saying that basically the reason why he didn't want Freeza to kill Goku is because he needs him so that he can make him stronger, as Goku is his motivation, the thing that drives him to continue to get stronger and stronger as the years progress. And even as Goku was dead in heaven, he was still training strong so he could surpass even his training up there. And at this point, Vegeta lands in front of Goku and states that even though Whis warned him about that very thing, he still allowed it to happen. But just then, as Vegeta was sending Goku over to Krillin and the other Z fighters to heal him with a Senzu Bean, Frieza attacked, trying to kill Goku, but Vegeta jumped up in the air, deflected the blast, and hit it right at Sorbet, going right through his chest. And with that, that was the end of Sorbet. And of course, immediately after this, Goku was healed with the Senzu Bean and got up and said thanks to Vegeta for saving him. Now at this point, Frieza was mocking Vegeta and saying that there was no way that he could possibly fare any chance against Frieza in a fight. But of course, Vegeta had a lot to show him as Vegeta transformed into the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation. Or as Vegeta said, I too can transform beyond the legendary Super Saiyan form. And that's exactly what he did. And at this point, Master Roshi and the others are shocked that Vegeta can also transform into a god. And Goku chimed in and said it wasn't through the way that Goku got Super Saiyan God, through the ritual in which all 6 Saiyans grabbed each other's hands and transferred their hearts into Goku, but rather Vegeta achieved it through his own power, which is very much in line with his character and exactly what he wanted to do. But just like in the movie, Vegeta started moving towards Frieza as Frieza started blasting him with a flurry of blasts, and Vegeta deflected each and every one of them. And then of course, the best part of the episode, or arguably up there, Vegeta started to beat the crap out of Frieza, something that we as fans of Vegeta have been wanting to see in Dragon Ball for years and years. And it finally started to happen. As Vegeta beat him so bad, Frieza actually fell out of his golden form. And on the ground, Frieza was having a temper tantrum saying that this can't be happening, I can't be defeated by Vegeta. And just as Vegeta was right about to kill him with the finishing blow, Frieza enacted exactly what he did in the movie, in which he put his energy down into the planet and blew it up. And this was actually a really great scene that in my opinion was superior in every single way to the scene that happened in the movie. Not only did this scene look really good, but we actually had a great emotional attachment to exactly what was happening. Because unlike in the movie where we just saw the planet blow up, in the Dragon Ball Super adaptation, we actually saw all of the different family members of the Z fighters at home doing what they were doing as the planet was right about to be destroyed. We saw Videl with Pan. We saw Android 18 with Marin. We saw Chi-Chi at home, and then of course we saw Mr. Satan and Boo sleeping at their home. And then of course we see the energy as it goes around the world and it starts destroying everyone in all the different places. And we see even the Lookout is destroyed as Goten and Trunks look on in horror as the planet erupts. And with that, the planet came to an end. And we see that in space, we saved everyone within a proximity of himself and Beerus, just as he did in the movie with a force field. And as everyone is looking on depression, saying that Frieza took everyone down with them, Beerus actually said that Frieza isn't dead because he can survive in the vacuum of space. But at this point, Beerus and Whis give Goku the option. as Whis reveals that he can actually turn back time for 3 minutes and gives Goku the possibility of being able to kill Freeza, but he can only turn back time 3 minutes every once in a while. And if Goku didn't get this one right, everyone would remain dead along with the Earth. Of course, Goku immediately accepted this proposal, and just again, as Vegeta was right about to blast Frieza and kill him, and as Frieza was right about to blow up the planet, Goku jumped in the way, telling Vegeta to get out of the way. He charged up a Kamehameha and fired it at Frieza, killing him once and for all. Naturally, Vegeta was pissed off at this whole situation, wondering exactly why Goku got in the way and took his kill, but then of course Goku explained everything to him, and Vegeta seemed to be alright with it. Now, whereas this is basically where it ended in the movie, the actual episode continued to go on a little bit after the end of the movie. For example, at this point, Goku told Bulma that he was going off to Namek so that he could use the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish Piccolo back to life, and then use instant transmission to teleport away. Gohan also excused himself, running home to be with Videl and Pan. And at this point in the episode, we actually start to see an actual sort of metamorphosis in development in Gohan's character, as he grabs them both close to him and says he will protect them no matter what. And then we go over to Capsule Corp. Once again, we see that Piccolo has been brought back to life, and Goku is recounting the events of his fight against Golden Frieza, as Piccolo is dead and was unable to see them. And then there's a very funny scene, one of the funniest scenes arguably in the series, in which Trunks and Goten were talking about how the next time Frieza gets revived, if he actually does, they will be the ones to kill him. And Trunks, funny enough, gets up and says he'll do it by slicing him in half. And everyone looks at Trunks kind of in a shocked or strange expression, because they've actually seen that exact thing happen before. So Trunks looks at them and says, "Did I say something weird?" And everyone of course laughs about it. Although it is something that I wish that they expanded a little bit more on, and maybe Frieza went out of his way to actually kill Trunks, and so they had to revive him along with Piccolo, it's still pretty funny to see them actually involving these two in the storyline, unlike in the movie, and actually doing these little tongue-in-cheek references to what happened in the series up to this point. But after that, Bulma was telling everyone that it was time for them to celebrate and to actually have a big feast. And so everyone joined them. Goku enjoyed his food, saying that it was actually better after a battle, and even Beerus and Whis sat down to eat some sushi. But then at this point, we see a continuation of this development of Gohan that I mentioned earlier, as Gohan walks up to Piccolo and asks him if he will train him. It says that he came to a realization that in order to protect his family, he needs to become stronger and stronger. And naturally, Piccolo accepted this offer and told Gohan to prepare himself for their training. And this is definitely something I've been waiting for a very long time, because in my opinion, this is the next logical step forward that really should have happened after the Cell Saga and after Gohan killed Cell. Gohan at that point, when he was inserted into his father's footsteps, should have known immediately that it is my time to be responsible, it is my time to take up that mantle. It was his story arc, so to speak. It wasn't that he liked fighting, but it was that he realized he was the strongest and that he needed to train so that he could become more powerful and protect everyone. And that's basically the role that he was supposed to become at that point in time. And I always felt that basically from the Buu Saga up to this point in time, it was a step backward for Gohan's character. A kind of regressing his character and nerfing him just so other characters can get the spotlight again, like Goku. And so in this case, when we see that Gohan is going to be training, I am very happy about the situation, because not only is Gohan my favorite character, but I think that's proper and accurate storytelling as far as his character is concerned, and the development of his character should really continue to move in this direction. And of course, just like in the movie, and just like the movie ended, Goku walked up to Vegeta and said, "Do you think that maybe sometimes we should team up, considering that we said if we did, we'd be able to easily defeat Frieza?" Naturally, Vegeta said no, and Goku immediately agreed with them, which is funny because Vegeta then said it's the first time that we're actually agreeing on something. Although, like in the movie, I do sort of wish that they actually had agreed to continue a team up in the future, as that would definitely change up that dynamic and make everything in Dragon Ball not necessarily a one-on-one affair. Considering what we've seen in the Dragon Ball Super manga, which is leading into it at this point in time, it is possible that that actually is going to happen in the future, and this is basically just a little bit of foreshadowing. But naturally, the episode came to its climax with Frieza back in hell, all of the fairies or the Death Angels or whatever they happen to be welcoming him, and Frieza screaming no. And that was the end of Dragon Ball Super episode 27. So overall, I definitely enjoyed this episode. I thought it was arguably the best episode of the entire Resurrection F saga, and definitely think that all the things that they expanded upon, or all the changes that they made in this episode, made it actually come off better than it did in the movie. And that is something that Dragon Ball Super should have been focusing on the entire series, changing and tweaking things to make them better than they were in the movie. In some cases they did this, in some cases they decided to half-ass it, but in this episode they definitely did a really good job. And that really has me hopeful for the series going on as we get into the new content. But with that in mind, let's get into my predictions. As we see in the next episode preview, it appears that Champa is showing up. And it looks like he and Beerus are actually going to have a fight, which is definitely very interesting to see, but as we know that Whis and Vados are there, it is possible that they're going to stop them just as they did in the manga, in which they knocked them both out. But it'll be interesting to see just what power they have on display and just how close in power they are to Goku and Vegeta, who we also seem to be seeing training with Whis. And just as in the manga, Goku and Vegeta appear to be wearing that weighted clothing that Whis put on them. And just like I said earlier with the training that we saw earlier in this saga, the training definitely seems very reminiscent and going back to the kind of style that Master Roshi in many ways was telling them. And now with the weighted clothing, it definitely seems to be continuing even further into that trend. But it seems like in this next episode, what my predictions are going to be is that basically what we saw in the manga, in which Whis is going to be explaining the different universes, and maybe the challenge that Champa is going to give to Beerus is going to be introducing the idea of this multi-universal tournament. And it looks like in this final picture, Whis is actually showing off the different twin universes that he showed off in the manga. So it's going to be really interesting and very exciting to get into all this new material, and to see in just what ways Dragon Ball Super, the anime adaptation of this story, takes all of these events. And I can't wait to see as all of this stuff unfolds in front of us each and every week. Well, my name is Mike, and this has been another edition of Dragon Ball Super reviews and predictions. Tell me your own thoughts down below. Did you like this episode, or did you dislike it? Do you agree with my opinions, or do you disagree? And also, what are you most looking forward to in this new coming arc with this new material? Let me know down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share this video with your friends so we can make more videos like this in the future, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
It's about damn time this scrawny Japanese Gohan decided to actually drop all the CrossFit and get back into the heavy weightlifting with the natty Namekian Piccolo. Pump that iron, Gohan! And you better subscribe!